Hey everybody, welcome to my channel, My Amish Neighbors. And we had a big exposure of some news in our area just recently. We found out that there was a huge amount of land that was sold, and we found out who the buyer was. Obviously, if you've read the title, you know it's Bill Gates. And what does this mean? He has every right to buy land, right? So I just want to speculate a little bit through this video, and as we talk, I'll take you through the country. I'm going over to the land so that you can see it. There's something that they do when they get it prepared that it's not common in this area. So it's beginning to be pretty easy for me to pick out when Bill Gates is buying land. In this particular case, the people that sold it to him, literally the neighbors knew who the buyer was. So he's not even buying under a fake name or anything like that. All right, before we get started, notice my lips weren't moving as I started out driving. I am in the car. My mother's with me. As many of you who watch me weekly know that she has moved in with me. And as I was videotaping, I usually videotape and talk at the same time, but sometimes, you know, mom might ask a question or something. So I just found it was easier to do a voiceover and not have to go through everything. So enjoy the drive as I share some of the stuff that I did a little bit of research and found out. One of my questions is why is Bill Gates buying land and why so much of it? Now, one of the reasons we could speculate is that he's buying it because of climate control. Bill Gates is very big in the new Green Deal and population control, controlling the climate and things like that. So I did look that up, but in this article that I found, he doesn't say it's about climate control. And that was interesting to me. It was more about investing. Now, this isn't the only thing I have heard, but in this article, it pretty much shot that theory and said that he's just buying it because he's investing. It's evidently a pretty lucrative area to go into right now. Real estate, any holdings like that will anything like that is a good investment. So it's not about climate control is evidently what he has been saying. Bill Gates' investments in farmland can be seen as part of the trend. They have been acquiring land, and from one of the articles I've read, I believe he holds over 200,000 acres, which there's over 9 million farmable acres in the United States, so it's not that huge of a deal. But for somebody who's never farmed, it is huge. Here's another one. Bill Gates wants to control food and farming. Now, this one makes a little bit more sense to me. He has his sights on becoming the global food czar, as well as attacking organic farming as wasteful and impractical. He's pushing genetic engineering, lab food, and big data. I have read that he is going to run his farms using artificial intelligence and robotics, which, coming from his background, that makes a lot of sense. The core ingredients of his plan: genetic engineering and patenting of everything from seeds and food animals to microbes in the soil to the process we use to make food. So he's really getting involved in this area. And so according to here, according to this article, he wants to control the food. Now, I'm going to go ahead and put all the links to these articles below if you want to read them. Like I said, I am just going by speculating and coming up with some of the research that I've done. I thought the next one was kind of interesting. Bill Gates I thought this next one was very interesting. Bill Gates wants first world nations to offer only synthetic beef, and you can use the taste, and you can get used to the taste and the difference. So why, my question is, why are first world countries to eat synthetic beef and the third world countries get to eat the good stuff? But for some reason, he feels like the poor nations need to eat the real meat. I found this kind of crazy, but this is what this article is claiming. He is saying you can get used to the difference in taste over time and it will be no big deal. Gates said governmental compulsion is an option. Eventually, that green premium is modest enough that you can sort of change the behavior of people or use regulation to totally shift the demand. And we know how that's been going in our country, where when regulations are put into order, there are that group of people that will follow no matter what it is. And then, of course, you always have the people that oppose. I can't imagine most of the people in our country agreeing to eating synthetic beef. I have no problem with it, to be honest. If you're a vegan, you don't want to eat meat, that's fine. But I don't think it's a good idea to push it on people against their will. Now, before we go further, I wanted to show you, as we're driving along here, that all these farmhouses are in the area of where this land is. There is an organic produce farm within a half a mile of this land area. And the Amish farmer, he has a whole bunch of hoop barns, and he literally grows his produce all winter long. And his job is to get a driver and drives it up to Columbus to various high-end restaurants. And he sells his wares fresh, they're organic, and they come from an Amish farm. So very pleasing to people up there in the city. Well, this farm will not be organic. We just saw that we saw a quote that he thinks it's a waste to go organic. So that anytime you put out pesticides on a farm, it blows and goes to the other farm. So that's going to be a problem in this area. Now, how did I find out that it was Bill Gates? I am going to go down to the courthouse. My next video, a follow-up to this, will be to find out if he's bought more land and how much land does he have right in our county, if not in our state, and we're in the state of Ohio. But this was told to me from an Amish person that knew the neighbors, and he bought 400 acres. And the people were not Amish that he bought from, but they were approached, and they gave such a good amount of money that they sold. And the deal was that they get to keep the house for now and only sell the land. I want you to notice here, when I'm going past the land, you can see it for acres and acres and acres, but notice there's plowing going through there. Well, that's where they put tile in. And that is a question. That is a question I haven't been able to find an answer to at this point, but we did notice that a lot of time, any land that has been bought by him has had tile put in. My husband said it could be that he wants all the pesticides to kind of drain out and not stay in the soil. That could be it. I don't know. And I will do some research to find that out, as well as trying to find out how much land he has in Ohio. And we'll also find out exactly what it is that he's planting. I have heard speculation that he was mostly going to plant soy and have that for his plant-based burgers or meat. But again, I will find some more research on that for you and answer that in the follow-up video. All right, so there you go, folks. 400 acres sold to Bill Gates right here in Highland County, Ohio, in Amish country. And as you saw on the drive, lots of beautiful, large Amish farms, big houses, big families, and he's right in the middle of it. So what that's going to do to our community, I'm not sure. Personally, I don't like the looks of it or the potential, but we'll see what happens. Thank you guys for watching. If you have any questions, put them below. If you have any more knowledge and want to share some more articles, feel free to do that. I can only Google and get the answers, and who knows what's true and what's not true, right? Subscribe to my channel. I'd appreciate it, and you have a blessed day.